Alright, today is January 12th. It is the second to last day of deer season here in Pennsylvania. It's our Flintlock season. Tomorrow's the last day. It's about noon right now. I haven't hunted all week. I've had vehicle troubles and I don't know if my truck is gonna make it. Right now I'm borrowing my grandfather's old Chevy. The tires aren't great on it, so that's gonna limit where I can go. We're just gonna try to make the best of it. Just definitely been down in the dumps about my truck and getting a lot of flies tied for the guiding season. Just took a little hiatus from deer hunting after our big hunt last weekend. But there's plenty of deer. There's so many deer around. I still got my buck tag. We're gonna do our best. We got a lot of snow right now. I think it's a little crunchy, but the sun's out. It might soften it up here. Do a little sneak hunting, and then hopefully find a good spot to sit for the evening. But there's a pile of deer around, that's for sure. This area that I'm hunting, it's the mountains. It's public ground, it's big tracts of public ground, the mountains. And there's a ton of deer. I know the first week of just me hunting by myself in Flintlock season, I saw over 60 does, handful of bucks. And then us doing deer drives last weekend, I think we saw about 35 does and 8 legal bucks. So we'll see if we can get a buck or a doe. You know, I haven't taken a doe in Pennsylvania since 2017. And it just breaks my heart every time I see a doe hit on the road up here. Kind of lingers on me a little bit, like, man, maybe I should have took a doe and it wouldn't have got hit by a car. That's just kind of how my mind works for some reason. So we're gonna try to get doe, we're gonna try to get a legal buck, we'll see. Just enjoy the day. Just get back in the woods. I definitely need a little walk in the woods, so take you along for the hunt. See what we find. Alright, it's pretty windy out, which should help me be able to stalk some deer. Very sunny out as well. My blue eyes are hurting. The snow is gonna suck to walk in. It's kind of crunchy, and then you kind of break through that top layer of the snow, and then it just packs. So it's gonna make for some tough walking, but whatever. There's a lot of deer in here, so just gonna sneak around and see what happens. There's either a flock of turkeys or there's some deer down here. Just saw some movement. There's turkey tracks right here. That's a turkey. Flock of turkeys in front of me. Their tracks are right here. But I want to show you guys something. So you can see this is a coyote track right here. And they aren't breaking down through. And the turkeys aren't breaking through either. So this kind of snow that we have right now, I can demonstrate it real quick. See, that top layer has a little crunch to it, and then it gives through. So that allows the coyotes, fox, bobcats, turkeys to glide across the top while the deer break through. And this is when the coyotes hammer the deer. When you get that crust on the top and these deer breaking through, these coyotes wreak havoc on the deer population, especially if it's ice. If you get an icy crust, these deer break right through it, and they move a lot slower than a coyote who just skates across. But I'm sneaking into this area. There's not much for food in here. There's a couple beech trees dropping nuts, but it's sporadic. Out here to my left, there's a big open oak flat. Turkeys calling. These deer are feeding it like crazy, but it's not thick enough for them to bed. So this is the closest cover. These beech trees, these beech saplings in here. And there's a patch of mountain laurel as well. It's the closest thicket to their food, and it holds deer. It holds quite a few deer in here. So the snow's not allowed to walk in, but this wind is loud, so should be able to sneak up on something today. We're gonna keep it going here. You see these turkeys, squirrels tearing up these beech nuts here. Haven't seen any deer digging for the beech nuts yet. The deer tracks, there's a set of the old deer tracks here going right by this. Deer really keyed on the acorns over here to the left, but all the trails are going in here. Alright, so that first spot didn't work out. Didn't see any deer. Came over to this other spot. Hiked in here a mile and a half, and the snow sucks to hike on. But I'm going to this area Found it a lot in archery, a lot in rifle. Josh and I were in here 2 weeks ago, and at the top of this hill in the corner of this clear cut, there was a nice 8-point bedded. I'm just gonna see if he's in it. It's a pretty stalkable spot. We'll see. The wind better. Since it's at the top, I'm hoping the wind's really blowing. Cover my sound, if he's in the bed at least. There's a pile of deer in here. I know just in one hunt in Flintlock, the first week by myself, I saw 25 deer in here. All does that day, but there's some nice bucks in here that lived in rifle season, so we're gonna trench up this steep mountain and see if we can spot that buck in his bed. There was 4 does. They were better than that spot in rifle season. They're having a hard time running. They aren't gonna go far. Not a good sign because they spooked at 200 yards. My wind is going up in there too. I know they didn't see me, so they heard me or smelled me. We're just gonna keep going. That buck bed is over here. I'm gonna get onto this top here, look across this little gully, see if he's in there. There he is. Jumped him. Looks like a different buck. They don't know what happened. That might be the same buck. Oh, there's a bigger one. Oh my gosh. Is that a big buck or what? Oh my god, it's a giant. That's a giant buck. The one in the back is huge. That's a really good buck. But there was 4 deer total in this group. I just see these 2 bucks right now. My wind's good right now. They're about 150 yards. There's another deer. Looks like a doe, might be a shed buck though. Licking the big buck. I would imagine it's a shed buck. recognize that big buck right now. I haven't got a great look at him. He's not giant, but he's probably a 3-year-old. Really good buck for late season, man. I'd take him. Oh, here's another deer to the right. What's that one? Oh, I know that deer. Oh man, I've been hunting him. This is my first time seeing that buck. Oh, that's really exciting. I've been hunting that buck. He's a definite 3-year-old or 4-year-old buck. I've been hunting him a lot, and this is my first time seeing him. He's got a goofy left side. This is probably a group of 4 bucks. There he is. Look at him. I don't know if he's having a hard time walking in the snow or if he's wounded, but that buck is very local here, and this is my first time seeing him. Oh, we got a fight. Nope. So we got 3 nice bucks here. 2 very nice bucks. And they might be 120 yards now to look at it. Man, not really much I can do. They definitely heard me. The wind is not really blowing up here. And the snow is loud. Pretty dead in the water right now. Unless they walk over here. Oh, that's another buck. There's another buck up there. There's another good buck up there right now. They're going to the left. I think that's 4 legal bucks. 2 or 3 what I would call big bucks for here, mature bucks. A shed buck and a doe. So here's this other buck coming to the left. We'll get a good look at him here, I think. That's the buck I've been hunting. On the bottom left right there. They're gonna come out in this opening. It's about 120 yards. A little far. That's really far. There's a nice buck coming out right there. Can't tell if I recognize him yet. They're calming down. They're still on edge. The snow is so loud. Alright, we're gonna get a good look at this buck. The bottom. They're going with the wind in their face. I can't even loop way around and try to cut them off. So there's possibly a shed buck. They're having a hard time walking in the snow. Okay, here comes a big buck here. I think this is one of the big ones. Nope, that's a good buck, not a big one. Legal though. Legal buck. They all look like they're limping because of the snow. Alright, here comes some more. Doe. That's that goofy one. He's a big one. He's a mature buck. That's what I mean by big. Not the biggest antlers, but he's a 3 or 4-year-old, maybe older. 100 yards. I don't want to shoot. I don't even want to shoot 50 yards. That's how this rolls. That's how the Flintlock rolls, man. Look at that buck. Man. Not a big buck, but he's got a big body. He's an old one. Mature one. Look at them. They were just enemies just weeks ago, and now they're loving each other. I gotta try to make a move. It's the second to last day. 10 yards is 10 yards, you know, if I gain 10 yards, that's 10 yards. It's so crunchy. There's no way. Just gotta wait for a big wind. Alright, I moved about 6 yards. Alright, and they're working their way away from me. Alright, big wind. I'm gonna make another move here. There's two. There's one. There's more bucks up to the right. They might have laid down, I don't know. Alright, they're going downhill. To the left a little. Man. Oh my gosh, those are some dandy bucks. Look at this. Man, just come on. They're just going away. I can't do anything. There he is. They're probably just gonna go bed over there. I hope. But I can't do anything right now. I've moved 15 yards. But I'm out of cover and they're in the open now. So right where that buck is right now, that is around where they like to bed. Typically there's a buck bedded there. That's the bottom end, bottom corner of that clear cut they're going into right now. They like bedding right there. Today they were bedded up to my right a little bit in the hollow, probably just getting out of the wind a little bit more. These two are really fighting over here to the right. I'd shoot any one of them that gave me a shot. They got a bed down right there. I'd be surprised if they don't. Is that a doe? That sure looks like a doe. Now there's a little spike. Tiny little spikes on them. So that buck in the back, the one closest to us, I think is the one me and Josh saw 2 weeks ago. Kind of looks similar. I'm pretty dead in the water. Not much I can do. I mean, I want him at 50. I want him at 50. I could maybe be tempted into 60 with a really good rest and a broadside deer. But I'd rather not spook him, you know. I don't need to get one. It's the second to last day. I don't need a buck. I don't need a deer. You know, I'm not out here to kill things, and if I thought I had an actual opportunity, I would pursue it, but I'd rather not spook them. It's a tough time to be a deer right now. I'd rather not spook them. This hood sucks. But I'm about to lose sight of these bucks, I think, unless they bed down right there. They're just on the edge of that cut, working their way in slowly. So the main food source here is acorns. And there's acorns out the way they're heading, and there's acorns over here to the south. And judging by the snow, I don't know if they want to walk out there to those acorns. I mean, they're having a hard time walking just because of the snow. Oh, they're running. No, one just kind of jumped around. So they're definitely calm now. They have to bed right there. It's where I've seen multiple bucks bed right there. And if I had to guess where they're gonna feed this evening, it's over here. Just a guess. I could probably close the distance, get up on the top of this little gully over here, and maybe try to cut them off before dark. They're working their way out there, kind of away. I think I can get up on this top and maybe see if I can cut them off or something. Kind of my plan right now. I don't want to lose sight of them though, but I'm gonna, I guess. So many things to do. I like just sitting here watching them, honestly. I like just sitting here watching deer. But I like the taste of them too. But I'm in this little bowl. These bucks bedded in this little bowl. What I mean by that is just the top of two hillsides meeting. I call it a bowl. Top of a gully. And wind swirls in these gullies so bad. That's why they like bedding here. Saw that out in Ohio. See it in Pennsylvania. See it in New York. Find sheds at the top of these gullies all the time. Any second now they could get my wind, which sucks, but it's been pretty good hitting me in the face, but takes weird turns in these hills for sure. Looks like they've all worked their way out of sight. You can just barely see their legs now. I think I can close some distance on them here. We'll try it. Ended up bumping those bucks. I just talked to you last right here. And I was just walking up to circle around and get on this top and loop around them. Now I'm 175 yards at least away from these deer. And I was just walking. You can hear that crunch. They heard it from 180 yards about. I just saw their tails going away. Never underestimate the power of a mountain buck. But right there is actually a bed. Right here, big buck track. Right here's another bed, right over there. But they were just bedded on this top. Typically there's does bedded here. And then does like to bed in this draw at the top of the bowl. Not really a spot for buck to bed, but it's a spot for bucks, plural, to bed. Strength in numbers, it's a good spot for strength in numbers. You know, bucks are typically solitary animals, except for the summer and now through the winter. And they'll use that to their advantage and be able to bed where does bed. Does have strength in numbers year round. They bed in groups. And they can bed in spots like this, but a single buck to bed here is very risky, but 6 bucks to bed here is not that risky. It's a good spot for multiple deer. I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I'm a mile and a half in here. I know they won't go far, but there's no chance I can get close to them with these conditions. I'd rather not push them. I feel bad for that, I even bumped them. They all looked really healthy, but this snow sucks. This snow really sucks for a deer. It's hard for them to dig food up. It's hard for them to run from coyotes. Probably just gonna bounce out of here. Man, I love hunting deer. I'd love to get one of those bucks. But it's just not the right conditions today. I'd rather not jump them again. I feel bad, like I said, that I even jumped them in the first place because they need to use their energy for other things than running from me. Very cool to see them, especially that one buck with the goofy antler. I've been after him for a long time. It's the first time I've seen him in person. I've got many, many pictures of him on this mountain and 2 miles away on the other mountain. But he's been more frequent on this one. He just went over there in the rut for a couple days, but very cool. Very, very cool. Tomorrow's the last day. I might try to hunt with some buddies. We'll see what we can do. But I got a long hike out of here, that's for sure. In this snow, it sucks. What a freaking good hunt. That was one of the better hunts of the whole season. Just to see that many bucks in the same spot. Just to see that many bucks. That is awesome. I know for sure 2 of them were 3-year-old at least. A couple of them were younger, 2-year-olds, I would guess. And then a spike. Here's another bed. That's a bed from yesterday. It's not one of these bucks beds. It looks like a doe bed. Man, I don't want to leave, but I think it's best. Maybe go check another area out too. Yeah, let's do that. Let's bounce out of here, go check another area.